Gentlemen, thank you for joining me here today with the current status of the Oroville Dam spillway. As I'm sure you're all aware, there's been a lot that has happened over the last week. And first of all, I want to say thank you very much for your patience and, more importantly, your cooperation in everything that has gone on. This has been quite the emergency, and we could not have put everything in place without your help. We're going to go over, or I'm going to go over with you, what exactly the situation is, try and explain what it is not, what we've done, and what the plan is as of right now. I'd like to start first with talking a little bit about the Oroville Lake or Reservoir and the Oroville Dam. To start with, this is actually the tallest dam in the United States. It may not seem like it, but it is actually the largest dam. Most of it is an earthen dam. You're not thinking Hoover Dam, which is one big solid wall of concrete. This is actually an earthen dam. It serves three purposes for the state of California. It helps to conserve and protect water. It has to used for generating electricity, and it is also used to mitigate flood damage. Three very important things for the state of California, as I'm sure you're all aware. It is the second largest man-made lake in the state of California. So you're talking about a lot of water. This is quite the engineering feat going on. Construction on this project was actually started approximately 60 years ago and was completed about 50 years ago. So this dam, the reservoir, and the spillways have all been here for quite some time, and obviously were made quite well. To give you an idea of the impact that this reservoir, the dam, has, between 87 and 99, we had a long period of excessive rains, which resulted in floods across the state of California. This dam in particular, though, has prevented over $1 billion in flood damage by being able to hold back that water. So this is a very crucial piece of our state's infrastructure. So now that is a little bit of the history of what we have here. What I want to clarify is the problem is not with the dam itself. The dam itself is sound. The issue is with the spillway. So now the spillway is maybe one feature of the dam, and its purpose is to, in the event of excessive rains, like we have had unprecedented rains for wintertime in the state of California. This is normally our dry season. It normally is until the spring that the rains and the snow melts really start affecting us. We have had unprecedented amounts of precipitation, both rain and snow. Of course, temperatures being as they are, snow melts already, so we've had an excessive amount of water. The lake has been at record levels. So what the spillway does is, in the event of water reaching a high point before we can actually evacuate water, it goes down the spillway. Now the problem is with the spillway itself. There is erosion that has happened. Like I said, we've had a lot of rain, we've had a lot of water. So the problem is with the spillway itself, and in the event of water being evacuated down the spillway, there was the chance that a catastrophic failure could have occurred, which meant rather than the normal amount of water we would expect to go down that spillway, there could be even more, and in fact it would then overflow the spillway and take out other areas. There is maintenance that was needed, things being as they are between the economy and the fact that we have the weather itself. There's certain construction you cannot do when it's actually raining. Maintenance was not able to be done. An evacuation was ordered. On the 11th, that's when the spillway actually started taking water over. The morning of the 12th, it was decided we need to issue an evacuation, and I want to thank all the people, especially the citizens, for your patience, but also the National Guard and the law enforcement agencies of California in making this happen. I'm sorry that you were impacted the way you were for 2 days, but it was only 2 days. And luckily, as you know, nothing actually occurred. I understand the inconvenience, but imagine if we had not evacuated you and a disaster had happened. So I'm very thankful that everything turned out okay. So where are we going next? Well, what we've already done is one of the key things. We've managed to reduce the water level in the reservoir, so we don't need to worry about extra water going over the spillway. That's one of the key things. We managed to get it down. And we're continuing to do that and keep it at a lower level. Then the next issue is the spillway itself. The first thing we're doing is we are bringing in loads of rock to shore it up. Where there was erosion, I'm not an engineer, so I can't get into exactly the process, but effectively what they're doing is they're bringing in rock to shore up these places where you have erosion. In personal experience, the best thing I can equate it to is my backyard. We had erosion going into our retention pond, and when the housing development came in to fix it, they basically put down rock, covered it up with dirt, and then planted extra grass over it to help retain it. So I'm going to assume at this point, and unfortunately it is an assumption, I'm trying to give you an explanation of what I'm seeing happen, is this is what is going on. We will continue to keep you updated in the situation. Again, the dam itself is fine. This was an issue just with the spillway. We're continuing to monitor the situation. We've reduced water levels enough so that way in the event of even more of these unprecedented rains we're having were to occur, we actually have far more of a buffer than we did before. That is my status as of right now, and I would be willing to take questions from the audience. Yes, sir.
You said that if the spillway failed, that it could cause problems in other areas. Is one of those other areas the dam?
No, not with the dam itself. Not with the dam itself. So if, I wish I had a graphic here. Obviously, the environment we're in, that's not possible. The concrete part of the dam, and like I said, this is mostly an earthen dam. So imagine, if you will, there's a hill with a notch in it. That's where the stone dam is itself. The rest of the dam is earthen. It's a large earthen wall or slope. On the backside, obviously, it goes down deeper. So basically what you're talking is when you see a flood and water starts flowing, you know, it's not like a 30-foot wall of water like you may have heard with like some of the tsunamis and stuff like that. But it is something that may not stop. There's no way to simply just go and dump a bunch of sandbags when you're talking about something the size of a lake. The biggest risk really is to damage of properties. It would be a slow effect, and unfortunately it would be a long-term effect. But the important thing was to get everybody out of the way, so that way, if any other prevention needed done, it would be possible to do it while keeping everybody safe. Sir?
So this is a problem, obviously, with this dam. Are there other dams in California that we'd have to worry about the same problem with?
I do not know, but that's something very good question for my department. So I will follow up with the department and make sure we have an announcement about that. Ma'am?
Oh, Mr. Novotny, can you please recapitulate the future dangers to us as residents?
Yes, ma'am. As of right now, there is no current danger. The evacuation was put in place as a precaution and has since been lifted. The precaution was put in place because the water levels were so high, because we haven't had quite so much rain recently, and we've been able to release water, not through the spillway, but through the actual dam itself. We've been able to lower that water level. So even in the event that there is more rain, there is more snow and melt off, and the water level rises, the dam itself is fine, and the spillway is in no need of being used at the current time. Sir, you got a question?
Yes, I have a restaurant in the evacuation zone, and for basically 2 days I've lost quite a bit of revenue. Is the government going to step in? Is the state of California going to step in and help me out and reimburse me for this?
You know, that's a very good question, and I really hope so, because I know there's a lot of hardship involved. It's one thing when you're evacuated out of your home. You know, it's not like going on vacation where you chose to go somewhere and you're going to be at a hotel or something like that. I know a lot of people were put up at hotels. They were put up at other shelters. Maybe you went to stay with family and friends. And I appreciate that inconvenience, but definitely the inconvenience to your business, to your livelihood. A lot of people were still able to go to their jobs that were not in the affected area. I would have to defer you maybe to the Department of whatever it is that handles business. I'm sorry, I can't think of the term right now. Perhaps the Chamber of Commerce, but the State Department of Finance, perhaps, that deals with businesses and hardships. We are still waiting to see what, if any, government or any support we will be getting from the federal government. But as you know, who knows what's going to happen with that. that's all I have time for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for your questions. And just to let me recapitulate, there is no crisis. The crisis has been averted. It has been mitigated. And things are moving forward. And as any new announcements or information come out, we'll be sure to get them to you. Thank you.